Hey everybody, I'm Mikey Andersen, and this is Fantasy Avenue, where each week we talk about everything you need to know in the world of fantasy football. Hello and welcome to another episode of Fantasy Avenue, the playoff episode. Good to be back, everybody. We've taken a little break as the fantasy football season has wrapped up, but I wanted to drop a quick playoff episode right before the Super Bowl. This will be going out, I believe, the Friday before the Super Bowl, and then this will probably be my second to last episode of season 1 of Fantasy Avenue. I'll probably do a little bit of one in the week after the Super Bowl, kind of talking about it and just saying, peace out. This is what to look for next year, all that good stuff. And then we'll kind of go in an off season for a little bit, and I'll be back around. I'll be back in periodically, at the draft and whatever. But I'll be back to full-time episodes probably around July, a little bit earlier. I can't remember the time I did last year, but we'll go around the same time as last year's. I think I started like mid-July, so I'll probably start early July for season 2 of Fantasy Avenue. But yeah, thank you for stopping in. Thank you if you've listened to any of the other podcasts this year. Super big appreciation once again. Sweet. Let's talk about some football. Before we start, one thing. Let's not talk about football yet. I gotta say one thing. Good news, exciting news. I'm thinking about starting another podcast. Not gonna say a whole lot of information about it because it's just in the works right now. But as I just said, there's a pretty big off season for fantasy football content coming back in July. Right now it is February, so we got March, April, May, June, July. That's 5. We have a 5-month break basically. And I don't want to just be doing a podcast a month, kind of just like sitting on the side. I want to be doing something. So we're starting a new podcast. The podcast will be called the Mikey Likes It Podcast. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go look it up. If you're old enough to know the commercial, or if your name is Mikey and you've heard people say it 1,000 times, then you know why my name is the Mikey Likes It Podcast. If you don't know, just look up Mikey Likes It and see what comes up. But anyway. Basic premise of the podcast, just be talking about things I like daily, whatever. This week on Mikey Likes It. Mikey likes to ski powder. Whatever it is, go mountain biking and talk about football. I'll definitely have a fantasy football episode. It'll just be a little bit of an off-season podcast, more general, less, just Fantasy Avenue, and I'm excited to see the kind of different demographic that tunes in. So we'll see how that goes. I'll have definitely more information after the next episode, which will be coming out the following week, after the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's super excited for everybody to listen to it. Super excited for just starting a whole nother journey of a podcast, and I'm super excited for all of you guys that listen to the Fantasy Avenue podcast to maybe go check it out because it'll be sweet. I'll be talking, I'll be making the jokes, I'll be doing whatever like I usually do, but it'll be a bit more general and it'll be a bit more like fitting to the time than fantasy football is to right now. Fantasy football is not real in session right now, so I wanted to try something. But let's talk about football anyway. Doesn't matter if it's in session or not. We got NFL news. First of all, Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl. Super excited for this. I hate the Chiefs as a Bronco fan. I hate the Chiefs. They just no more need to win. Let somebody else win. Chiefs, just calm, simmer down. I'm super excited for the Eagles, and I believe that offense. I believe that offense has a big chance. Jalen Hurts, he has proven to be a dual threat, like leader quarterback in this league. Miles Sanders, good running back. They have a studded receiver core over there in Philadelphia. Great offensive line, a good defense. Like they have all the pieces. Their quarterback is not coming off injury, unlike Patrick Mahomes is. There's a lot of good notes for them right now, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Something interesting is that the Eagles' offense only has one person starting. Their starting 11 offense. 10 out of the 11 starters the Eagles drafted. So, the general manager in Philadelphia, the head coach in Philadelphia, anyone doing the draft picks, nice freaking job. That's crazy. 10 out of 11. And the 11th is A.J. Brown, star receiver in fantasy and just in the league from the Titans. So, their offense is made up of one blockbuster trade and 10 solid draft picks. That is a big deal to build that good of an offensive line and that good of a core around a good quarterback. All off draft picks, basically. That's pretty sweet. I'm not going to discount the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. I don't believe they have as good of a defense, and I really don't believe they have as good of weapons, but they have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid. that's all you really need to win. That's all you really need to win a Super Bowl at this point. It's pretty sweet. I'm super excited to watch because it's going to be a big one. So we'll see. I'll definitely talk more about the Super Bowl and all that stuff after next week. Now the playoffs have been interesting. The Brock Purdy magic unfortunately comes to an end due to injuries. Kind of sucks. Don't take away from the Eagles. They dominated that game, but it would have been nice to see a full Brock Purdy game to end off the season. Bills fallen. The Cincinnati Bengals fallen. There's some big names. There's some big teams. Cowboys have choked and fallen. They choked on their own balls and fell down the stairs. Or something like that. But yeah, the Cowboys were just being the Cowboys as they always are. And quite similar to the Broncos, honestly. And talk about the Broncos. What a head coaching hire, Sean Payton. I am so excited. The incompetency at the head coach position last year is really what I think kind of held us back. And it showed as soon as Hackett left the Broncos. Our offense boosted in points scored. It was exciting. There's nothing bad on Hackett. He's going to be an offensive coordinator for the Jets now, who have a good young core, possibly an Aaron Rodgers landing spot. We'll see about that. That would be super exciting for Jets fans. Number 12, coming out of retirement, Joe Namath's number, and it'll be repped by Aaron Rodgers if he goes there, which would be pretty sweet. But all that Nathaniel Hackett stuff aside, he's a good coach, just not a good head coach, especially not first time. He just had too much on his plate, I believe. And I hope that he does well with the Jets. I hope he gets one more opportunity to be a head coach after doing well in the Jets, because he does deserve another opportunity, but just not on the Broncos. It just didn't work. Too many new pieces. Russ couldn't find his rhythm. Nothing can happen. And now we have Sean Payton, who is a head coach that took Drew Brees from being a good but injured player and turned him into one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, even though he was, 5'11". It is really hard to be a short quarterback. Both Russell Wilson and Drew Brees are. Drew Brees was even less mobile than Russell Wilson is. And working with Peyton turned him into a top 5 quarterback of all time. That is awesome. I'm so excited to see that. I'm so excited to just, let's go. Let's do that. Let's turn not necessarily washed up Wilson, just like Drew Brees wasn't necessarily washed up, but down Wilson. Wilson on the down, pick him back up, turn him into what we know he is, continue his Hall of Fame career. Super excited for that. Other NFL news, playoffs kind of went what they did. Tom Brady has officially retired from the NFL. It's crazy. I don't know. It's pretty sweet as a Bronco fan, but as just an NFL, it's a whole era of quarterbacks gone. Aaron Rodgers is the last one of my childhood quarterbacks, right? If I think of the old guys who kind of ruled the league while I was growing up, Peyton Manning, obviously, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, who else? Eli Manning, obviously Aaron Rodgers. We have Phillip Rivers, maybe throw in Matt Ryan there. There's a lot of big guys and a lot of guys that, that's it. It's tough. Maybe Phillip Rivers didn't necessarily destroy the league, but there was that old era, and it's been replaced by the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen era, and it's exciting. Tom Brady is one of the last stones to fall, so it's just a big deal. The GOAT, I 100% now just agree with all the winning he's done, all the records he's had. He is the GOAT. You can't argue. In my opinion, don't at me or do. Comment on the Instagram, DM me. Let me know if this is wrong or right. I have top 5 quarterbacks in NFL history. We have Tom Brady, then Peyton Manning, then Joe Montana, then John Elway, and then Drew Brees. Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre just outside that list. Terry Bradshaw just outside of that list. But those are all guys that got it done when it mattered, set records, had crazy seasons, carried their teams, won Super Bowls. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's crazy to see him go, and it's honestly pretty exciting. So we'll see. Looking for more NFL news. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. I've been gone for a month and a half in terms of doing. I haven't been gone, but in terms of doing the podcast, yeah, I've been gone. We'll see. There's some exciting stuff to go along with the Chiefs game. It sounds like the Chiefs might be dealing with some illness before this game. This is I don't know. This could be kind of crazy. If the Chiefs have illnesses going up all the way to the Super Bowl, can't prepare fully, aren't just illness, never mind that you're going to go out and play, right? It's not going to sideline anybody. but it can just dampen your whole like mood and just like physicalness. So we'll see. We'll see if that has an impact. I kind of doubt it's going to have an impact, but you know what? Anything in terms of two teams going at it, two good teams going at it, anything can affect that. We'll see. Other big news, the NFL honors. I'm doing this on Friday night. NFL honors just happened last year. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP, very deserved. 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa, defensive player of the year, very deserved. MVP is stupid. Now, I get it's a quarterback award, and I don't think anybody but Patrick Mahomes should have won this year. But like last year, who was it? Aaron Rodgers? It totally should have been Cooper Kupp. There should be an MVP and a top quarterback. There really should. They should make a top quarterback award, and then quarterbacks just can't win Offensive Player of the Year or MVP anymore because there's so much weight as to them being the quarterback, which I guess is important. But honestly, the most valuable player last year was Cooper Kupp. Without them, the Rams would not have won the Super Bowl. Maybe not even made the playoffs. He had one of the greatest receiving years of his career, and it just gets taken away from. I don't agree with it. I really do believe that there should be a quarterback award and a non-quarterback award because it's dumb. Finally, Dak Prescott with a Walter Payton Man of the Year award. You know, for all the hate that he gets, I don't really do my research on how many like things people do for the community or whatever in the NFL, but it's good for him. It's good that he did something that nobody can make fun of. You know, you can't make fun of a guy for being Walter Payton Man of the Year. That's awesome. It's exciting. I'm excited for him because, you know, I gave him a lot of hate, and I'll still give him hate for his play because he's dang trash, dude. Like he throws games. He's got that Derek Carr in him. You know what I'm saying? But he's also a good guy. So you know, big ups. I'll wait till next year to make fun of you, Dak. End of the year on a high note, and I'm proud of you. A big Super Bowl storyline. I don't know if you've heard the Travis Kelce brothers, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce. They have a podcast. You know, I wouldn't mind maybe getting on there every like once in a blue moon. You know, maybe get on there like next season. I got connections, dude. I got some connections. How do you think I got this whole setup? I don't. None of this stuff is even mine. I got connections. So I mean, we'll see. That would be pretty cool. I don't know, but anyway, they got a podcast talking about how they don't want it to be called the Kelce Bowl, but this is the first time two brothers have gone against each other in a Super Bowl, and it's the first time two star brothers have gone against each other. One of the best offensive linemen in the whole league and the best tight end in the whole league. It'll be cool. There's talk of their mom doing the coin flip, which it would be cool. You know, she hasn't really she was talking about it. You know, she hasn't really earned it necessarily as these NFL legends have. Like maybe pick an NFL legend that played for one of the teams or both the teams. There are definitely other people or fan of the year, not just a mom. But don't take away from the moms. She raised two NFL players. That's freaking sick. And now they're playing against each other. If I had to pick right now, you know, I don't have a specific NFL player in mind that deserves to go up there and flip a coin. So let her do it. Why not? You know, whatever. It would be sick. It's just my opinion, but we'll see what happens. Oh man. This episode's gone by quick, and it's almost over. You know, I don't really have a lot to talk about. I got my new podcast. We'll see how that goes, but this is some of the last news. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. The Hall of Fame class has just came out. Now, there's not a lot of guys that are super fantasy relevant in this top class, but we got Joe Thomas. He's a beast. He's the beast. Joe Thomas... He doesn't do any fantasy relevant stuff, but one of the best offensive linemen I've ever watched. Darrelle Revis, awesome. Not fantasy relevant again, but pretty sweet. Zach Thomas, Miami Dolphins linebacker. I've heard a lot about him, even though I never even saw him play. DeMarcus Ware, Broncos linebacker after being a Cowboys linebacker. He is truly a Cowboy, but he went to the freaking Super Bowl and he dominated alongside Vaughn. I love it. Now, he should have totally been first ballot. I don't know why. He had 138 career sacks. 138.5, excuse me. But whatever. I mean, the first ballot type of stuff, it's just it turns political. Who do we really let be first ballot? it's strange because why does that matter? It's first ballot is not necessarily like you have to be super good to be first ballot. It's just, are you the best whatever defensive end in this class that deserves to go to the Hall of Fame? And he was last year. He is again. He makes it in now. Rondé Barber, super cool. So this is what this article is saying. It's kind of unfortunate because he was overshadowed by a lot of people: Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, Darrell Green, Champ Bailey, Charles Woodson. It was hard to get in. It was hard to get in. But a Super Bowl winner, he dominated. And, I doubt many of you even know who he is. He was a baller. He got overshadowed by bigger name guys, more talk the talk, walk the walk, It's okay. That's kind of it. That's kind of the episode, honestly. Some cool NFL news. This is kind of just right before the Super Bowl. We'll have another short, like 15-minute one after the Super Bowl, and then talk about the new podcast, and we'll get that going. I'm super excited. Thank you again to everybody for stopping into the Fantasy Avenue podcast. Check out the Instagram if you haven't already. Trying to build it up a little bit more, trying to advertise more on Instagram, and maybe next year, actually turn to spending money to advertise posts, because I want to build this thing. We'll see how it goes. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. This has been Mikey Andersen and the Fantasy Avenue. See y'all next week.